Anytime you're ready.
Okay, I'm Pauline. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for staying. So to start off, I was born in Belgium. This will explain my whole story. My mom is Italian. She barely speaks English. She's born and raised in Italy. She used to work for Alitalia Airlines, which is the airline company in Italy. And my father's from Chicago. He was working at the time at a business that made him travel around the world. And they met in a hotel lobby in Venezuela. And my mom saw my dad, and she was like, she said to her friend, I'm gonna marry that guy. And so ever since they met, the rest is history. So I'm a senior here and majoring in journalism with a minor in Italian and political science. Some extracurricular activities. I love running and boxing and kickboxing. I'm gonna go do a lesson right after this. Some of my professional hopes, I've always dreamed of becoming a news correspondent ever since I can remember. I remember I used to write in a diary every night, and I was looking back on it, and I was 11, and I wanted to be a bunch of different things ever since I was a young girl. But I looked back on my diary and I wrote that I want to be on TV. I was like, I saw myself being on TV. Like as a young girl, as 11 years old, I was like, I'm going to be on TV. I knew since I was a young girl that I wanted to do that. And I thought that it would be like perfect because I was like, I want to still travel the whole world and maybe possibly be a news correspondent and stuff. But ever since, growing up, I've had some different like things happen, and I've explored other things that I like to do, and I'm really into nutrition and wellness. And so I was thinking about like going into scientific journalism, which would be like exploring that whole side of science and making people aware of nutrition and things that are good and bad for you. I also have a big desire to become something in politics because my mom is in politics right now in Italy. And she works a lot with human affairs and human rights, and it's something really interesting to me as well. Let's see here, top 3 priorities. Definitely to live abroad again. I was thinking I have a lot of plans, but one of them is probably to just go back to Italy and stay there and see where that leads me to. And I can always come back here because it'll always be here. I think once you start a job here, it'll be a little bit harder to ever go back to Europe because, it's just a totally different thing. Another one is to live up to the dreams I've always had, which started at a young age. My biggest fear it's funny, I have this huge fear of sewers. I hate walking near sewers, and I just always had this like thing that ever since I was younger I thought I was gonna fall in. But oh, and then I don't really let anyone else. I don't have any fears aside from that. Like I'm not afraid of like not finding a job or like not doing well or something, because I just think that there's like no room for fear in your life or like negative energy in your mind. It's just like a waste of energy. Let's see. My favorite book was actually You're a Badass, but she said it, but I'll talk to you more about that one. So that book is literally about seeing yourself in the future. And my mom always told me this too, if you can see yourself being something, then you will be that something. Like my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and now she's a politician in the Italian parliament. Something like she went from like 1 to 100, and she always had this dream of being something, but it's not like we were in the way, but we came into her life and then she had to take a pause. But once if you're always like focused on that one thing and always keep your mind motivated to be that one thing and seeing yourself to do that thing, I'm sure you can get there. And it just talks about some stories about her friends that have like wanted to get a villa in Italy coincidentally, and they were like poor, had a very low paying job, and they eventually got a villa in Italy because they believed in themselves and they kept picturing themselves doing what they want to do. My favorite favorite movie. One of my favorite ones is La Vita è Bella, which means life is beautiful. And it's with this really famous Italian actor, and it takes place in the Holocaust, but it has like this twist in it because he's with his son and his wife as well, but his son has no idea what is happening while they get taken away to the concentration camps. And so he makes it this little twist where it's like a game, and they're like, okay, well, you're gonna have to go and do this and blah, blah, blah. But he has no idea, he's like masking the whole negativity of it, like what the whole story is, you know? And so it's just like an incredible story, and you guys should all see it. They have translations. What makes me tick? I wrote, the haters make me tick because they motivate me even more. And I actually love it when people tell me like, oh, like journalism is so hard, you're never gonna be on TV. Like, I'm like, okay, I won't be, yeah, okay, you keep thinking that. And then like that girl said, I just can't wait until like they're watching me and then they're just sitting down like on the couch like, oh, I wish I didn't doubt her. But let's see, I wrote something else. And also just being around people that inspire me. I mean, there's nothing better than like growing off of the energy of people that help you want to do the things that you want to do, regardless of what it is, even if they don't want to be in TV or journalism. If they want to just be successful, it's just very important to feed off of that positive energy.
Good job, Pauline.
Thanks.